Good afternoon from another hot and sunny day here in Central Florida, and just wanted to share my latest solar install project. Behind me you can see is a 2023 Keystone Fuzion 427, and yes, it is a Toyhauler, and it is a special project because it is our personal rig. My wife and I, we got it end of last year, and it's no longer a toy hauler, it's our kid hauler. We got 3 beautiful kids and we needed more space for them, so this has been fitting the bill quite well. So with our rig, we're hoping to do a bit more traveling. We're also hoping to be able to do a bit more boondocking, not be so reliant on shore power. Here at our site in Florida, we have to pay monthly for our electricity bill, so I'm hoping with the right size solar equipment we can reduce our energy bill we get every month. So let's get into the system of what it is and what it took to get it installed. So being that it's a 5th wheel, we got front storage. So down below we got our generator, and we also got our propane, and then Keystone put this nice little compartment in here which fits the bill nicely for solar equipment. So let me show you what we got in here. All right, let's get started with what we have in here. Well, first of all, I carpeted and put a flooring down in here to help quiet things up and insulate things and be able to have something to mount the equipment to. So along this side, I decided I want to understand lithium batteries better, so I went ahead and I made my own lithium battery pack. So inside of here there are 16 304 amp hour cells, and I made a 48 volt battery because this is a 48 volt system I installed. So again, 304 amp hours at 48 volts is about 14,500 kilowatt hours. So I've got one battery here, and I have planned expansion for a second battery over here. So along the back here we have our Lynx distributor, which is the DC distribution. So that's where basically connecting all of the devices and the batteries together into one system. We have our main battery disconnect and our battery shunt to keep track of the state of charge, and then we have the bus bars here where the batteries will connect to, and then along down here is sort of a cable chase to keep cables hidden, keep things looking nice. If we scroll over to the left a bit more, you'll see we have the Cerbo GX, which is the brains of the operation, keeping track of everything, and also that's what the touch screen connects to, and also reporting on the phone. I'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. This box here is my in-house built generator start-stop box. So this box interfaces with the Cerbo, and when the Cerbo says, hey, we have a low state of charge, fire up the generator. So that sends a signal to this box, and then this box fires up the generator. And then as well, when the generator is, or not the generator, when the battery is now charged or above a certain state of charge, the Cerbo will send a command for the generator to stop. So very handy to have. And then all the way on the left here we have the 2 solar charge controllers. The reason why I have 2 is I have 2 runs coming from the roof. This RV came with a 400 watt package from Keystone. I retained those 2 200 watt panels, which are connected to one of the solar charge controllers, and then I added 8 200 watt panels, and which is connected to the other solar charge controller, and then those are the PV disconnects in between. Now if you're looking in here, there might be one thing you might be asking. There is something missing. Where is the inverter charger? Well, let me show you where that ended up. All right, let me show you where I ended up putting the inverter charger, and it's actually a really great spot because I wanted to maximize space in our 5th wheel, because with living full-time in the rig, we have stuff we need to store, and I just didn't want to use up all the space in the storage bay here. With the solar stuff, I wanted to be able to maximize what we have. So let me show you. So inside here, the storage bay this is the back wall of that storage compartment we were just looking at, and this here is the 2000 watt inverter that came with the rig, which, as you can see, it's no longer connected. Eventually I will be pulling that out and probably be selling it because we need more power than that. It's no longer needed. So down over there you can see I have the Quattro. Ended up going with the Quattro over a multi-plus, just because I wanted to be able to have 5,000 watts of inverted power. And then next to it, this black box, that is the transfer switch. So I had to move some of the equipment down, relocate some of the stuff to make room for the Quattro, because to the left of that Quattro, I have space for a second Quattro that eventually I'll be putting in. All right, so now I've shown you the battery bank and the solar install side of everything and the inverter charger, but now let me show you what I added up to the roof. Alrighty, up on the roof of our Fuzion 427, and you can see behind me the two 200 watt panels that came with the rig. Was not going to be anywhere near enough what we needed for our needs. So check this out. This is what I got installed. So there's 8 panels here, 200 watts, so 1600 watts up on the roof. These are by Rich Solar, and they've been working really great. So if you can tell, there's plenty of blank space, and that's by design, because I plan on adding hopefully 8 more at some point. Alright, so lastly on the inside, there used to be the little control panel for the other inverter, but I replaced that with now a Touch 50 touchscreen. So this looks a little bit different than what you get from standard, because I'm playing around with some customization of the Cerbo GX to see how these modifications to the software works. So, but basically, you can control the whole system right from here. So to recap this video of this installation, I have added a 5000 VA inverter charger, 304 amp hour at 48 volt battery bank, which is about 14,500 kilowatt hours, as well as 1600 watts of solar up on the roof. So I got 2000 watts total up on the roof currently, and my goal eventually is to double that. So add a second inverter, add a second battery, and add 8 more panels up on the roof, and then that should truly get us off grid in our rig. But with what I currently have, because this rig has 3 air conditioners, 2 on hot leg 1 and 1 air conditioner on hot leg 2, the inverter charger that I installed is running off of hot leg 1. So I can run our 2 ACs and a bunch of the other outlets, and my wife can do what she needs to in the kitchen without worrying about power. There's plenty of power, and I can go about 8 hours before that battery is depleted. So not bad for 1 battery bank, 1 inverter charger, and 2000 watts up on the roof. Now, if you're interested in knowing more about the installs that I do, if you're interested in getting a design, a quote, or a system installed on your rig, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you about your needs, your desires, your goals for a solar system on your rig. So thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great and blessed day.